BBC News at midday. The chief executive of the organisation, which represents health trusts in England, has warned the NHS can't function properly without consultants after thousands of senior doctors began a 48-hour strike about pay. The dispute means that planned care has come to a virtual standstill, with emergency Christmas Day cover in many areas. The government says it's accepted the independent pay review recommendation of a 6% rise. Striking doctors say their salaries have been severely eroded by inflation during the past decade and a half. Linda from Newmarket in Suffolk has been in pain since March 2021 and was due to have a back injection, but it's been cancelled.
I'm on some pretty hefty painkillers, which I'm keen to get off of, but still getting breakthrough pain from those. I understand during the COVID pandemic that the NHS was on their knees. They still seem to be to some extent, obviously. I support the reason why they're doing it, but I'm not sure it's that great for people like myself that have been in a lot of pain for some time.
A video showing two women being paraded naked through the streets by a mob in India's northeastern Manipur state has been condemned by the country's Supreme Court. There has been violence between rival ethnic groups since May, and the video, which has gone viral, is believed to date from then. Police say they're investigating an alleged gang rape and have arrested a man. Anbarasa Nethirajan has the details.
The Chief Justice has directed the government to inform the court of the steps taken to apprehend the perpetrators. The footage of the two women being led through the streets naked in the Manipur state has triggered widespread anger in India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called the incident shameful. It was his first public comment on the situation in Manipur since clashes between the dominant Meitei and the minority Kuki ethnic communities broke out in early May.
A former senior figure in the banking industry has criticised the way accounts belonging to the former UKIP leader Nigel Farage were closed after he released documents suggesting his political views played a role. Angela Knight, who used to be chief executive of the trade body, the British Banking Association, said the treatment of Mr Farage by Coates had implications for free speech. Ms Knight told Today on Radio 4 that the exclusive bank should have been clear about the reasons for its actions.
I do find it somewhat uncomfortable to see a situation arise where, because of somebody's legitimate views, even though you may not agree with them, somehow has resulted in a service being withdrawn and them not being told about it.
Coates said the decisions to close an account are not taken lightly. The Competition and Markets Authority is calling on supermarkets to make their pricing systems clearer to help shoppers find the best deals. But it says it hasn't found evidence that weak competition between the stores has fueled food price inflation. Our reporter Peter Ruddock says the CMA have issued a warning to the supermarkets about making comparisons easier.
Retailers need to make the necessary changes or risk facing enforcement action. They've also said the law needs to be tightened, so they're calling on the government to introduce reforms in that regard.
Police in Berlin have warned the public to stay indoors while they search for an escaped wild animal thought to be a lioness. Camilla Mills has the story.
According to local media, members of the public raised the alarm after seeing the suspected lioness chasing a wild boar down a street. A police operation involving helicopters and thermal imaging cameras is underway. It's not clear where the animal came from, as no local zoos or circuses are missing a lioness. Officers have been using loudspeakers and emergency apps to warn people. They believe the lioness could be sleeping in a wooded area.
In football, the first match of the Women's World Cup has taken place with a win for the co-hosts, New Zealand. They beat Norway 1-0 in Auckland. BBC News.